Nancy, welcome to a special edition, a Sunday edition of a game on where, of course, it all started on Saturday. This is almost part two of the show that carries on from yesterday in something a little special during the World Cup period. I'm Teboho Mokoena, joined by James Kosana, as well as Mark Haskins. Gentlemen, great to be in your company. Let's talk about the Group G of the World Cup and how things have fared so far. And of course, the Pharaohs of Egypt involved in this group from an African point of view, alongside Belgium, Iran and New Zealand. For Egypt, quite an opener, against the mighty Belgium in a game that ended with a 1-1 scoreline. But well, for Egypt, having led early, there'll be a little disappointment that they scored an own goal that allowed Belgium to get a point out of this.
I think for me, it was a good performance from Egypt, because if you look at Belgium, I mean, they're one of the top teams in Europe. I mean, they've produced quality players. You're talking of guys like De Bruyne, who was there. They always play, I think, in that squad. You're talking of Lukaku, whom a lot of people would always think and say he's the one that scored the goal. But if you look at it carefully. Yeah. That's why you see it was an own goal, but his impact coming in, I mean, within 2 minutes, and then he put that pressure. But if you look at Egypt, for me, they are one of the African teams that can give me something like courage to say they might maybe go through if that's how they're going to handle themselves in the next coming games. But to have that shown against Belgium, for me, that was top class.
Yeah, when you consider the fact that they could have won this game, had it not been for the own goal, but also the fact that Iran and New Zealand then go and draw 2-2. Great start this is for Egypt, in that they could be in the running not just to qualify, but to possibly finish top of the group as well.
Yeah, certainly when you look on the balance of things, that's probably their toughest game.
Yeah.
They come up against a New Zealand and an Iran team. They showed great performances themselves, Iran especially coming back from behind twice. But on the part of Egypt, from an African perspective, it really bodes well if you're able to contend with a really talented Belgian team. You look at, Prajeri spoke about the De Bruynes that were on the field, Jeremy Doku, Tielemans in the midfield. We saw Lukaku come on and just his physical presence that forced almost that own goal. But yes, a really, really strong Belgian team. But we know Belgium have always flattered to deceive, especially at major tournaments, and they haven't really achieved what they're capable of. But from an African perspective, yes, happy with Egypt's performance, and hopefully now they can use that as a springboard against the likes of New Zealand and Iran. Not going to be easy games. There's no four.
Wide open group
This group is still going to go down to the wire.
On one point, wide open group with the way things are pushing forward. Let's keep things moving along and have a look at another group that, well, Mark Haskins would have been dying to sit down and talk about this particular group, Group H. And I say this because Mark Haskins made a prediction. 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
That the dark horse for him, the surprise package at this World Cup would be Cape Verde. They were up against Spain, come up with a 0-0 scoreline, but they celebrated that at the end of that game as though they'd won the 3 points. But it was about the showing and the fight to keep Spain at bay at the end of the day.
Well, on debut against a former world champion and probably one of the favorites to win the tournament, they put up a really, really solid display. I mean, this is a team that the world did not know. I mean, how many people can say they knew what Cape Verde had to offer? And so a lot of people to this day don't even know how to say the name. Do you say Cape Verde? Do you say Capa Verde? Whatever the case may be, they've announced themselves on the global stage in a beautiful way. And I love the scenes with Vozinha, the goalkeeper, but man of the match. And
it's that story with his family unable to go to the World Cup. They were denied visas, and he gets man of the match in the opening game.
And he says he would have loved for his mom to be there and be part of the occasion, dedicated to his grandparents. But yes, I think their story is so great. And the reason why I said, I seen this team play. Remember Bafana Bafana got through against them in the Ivory Coast AFCON by the skin of their teeth. This team should have beaten us. We beat Ronwan's heroics on penalties, but this is a solid outfit, and it's going to be interesting to see how they go against Uruguay and Saudi Arabia.
Now, of course, Spain and Cape Verde played to a 0-0 scoreline. Everybody looking forward to see what Uruguay and Saudi Arabia would do. Get another 1-1 scoreline. Just goes to show, Sherry, this is another tough group where, after the first round of games, there's no separating these teams.
I think for me, what Mark is saying in terms of Cape Verde, Cabo Verde, whatever, how you call them, it's fine, but give them credit. I think it was a lesson to Uruguay and also Saudi Arabia. Because if you look at that group, when Mark was talking about it together here, I was one of those that said, Marky, please, this. They're starting with former world champions, quality players that we always watch in the world, and they're not gonna come right. And for me, I was more than pleased. And I said, you know, if other people need to go and look at other ventures in terms of what they want to do, this man needs to go and just start being a coach. Because it says a lot of the coach.
I thought you were going to say Sangoma.
No, not Sangoma. I give him credit. I give him credit always. You know what he talks about? For me, it's when people started saying they want to criticize them, to say they mustn't be like Bafana Bafana. Because if you watch them when they were under pressure, you see the whole 11 players
behind the ball.
But when they get the ball, the pace that they go forward to, I mean, for me, it was amazing. It's not that only they wanted to sit back and do better, where we faltered ourselves as Bafana in that regard. But for this one, they did well. But for me, I think it was alarm bells to Uruguay and Saudi Arabia.
Well, alarm bells are ringing. As things stand, it's Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, Spain, Cape Verde. That's the order of things in Group H. And the order of things here on Game On means we have to take a short ad break. When we come back, we still talk about the further groups going down. Group J is where we'll start in continuing our story. Welcome back. Now, back in 2002, at the start of the Korea-Japan World Cup, there was an opening match where the defending champions France came up against little-known Senegal at the time, and the stars from Senegal shocked the world in that opening match and beat the defending champions France, which just sets the tone for France in that particular World Cup where things didn't go their way. Years later, France have a chance in the opening match, not of the tournament, but of the group, at revenge against Senegal. And, wow, what a showing we saw from France, winning with a 3-1 scoreline. Mbappe on fire, Mokoena, another that came good, and Senegal, who didn't look too bad, really battered and bruised at the end of the day, though.
Yeah, again, you look at this France lineup, and it's just mind-boggling. I saw a video where someone says France always come with 10 amazing players and Adrien Rabiot. But no, this team is just is spectacular. So you look at Desiree Doué and Olise. Olise, I mean, what a player he is. He may not have scored, he assisted, but it's just such a delight to watch. And then you've got Mbappe and Dembele behind him. I mean, it just blows your mind to have that kind of, personnel at your disposal. So definitely they announced themselves and they said, guys, no matter what, we are the front runners. Everyone is chasing us, and you can understand why.
Understand why, from a Senegalese point of view, not the start they would have wanted. But then again, when you look at the rest of the teams in this group, Norway beating Iraq for one means for Senegal now, they're under pressure to bounce back, pick up points, and it still won't be easy going forward when you consider Norway.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Senegal, especially with this result. And then you look at how Norway are. I mean, if you look at this group, you've got two top players in Europe, and both of those players in terms of
getting a brace as well.
You know, it's like you're talking about Haaland for Norway scoring a brace, and then we've got Mbappe for France also. So I think it's going to be a mammoth task for Senegal to get through. Maybe with Iran, they might might get it right, but still, I think maybe what happened 2002 in Korea, Japan, it was in their mind. I hope they will take it out and start afresh. Because what they did to France by winning in that World Cup, it was a good thing. So everybody was focusing on that to say, let's have a repeat of what happened in 2002, but it didn't go that way. So I hope it won't disturb them or destabilize what they want to achieve. But it's still going to be a difficult one against Norway.
Interesting thing is that Didier Deschamps was part of the French team that had won the 1998 World Cup, and of course the French team, I'm not sure if he was part of the 2002 FIFA World Cup squad, though. Deschamps, the coach of the French team that got the revenge against Senegal. Now, let's keep moving along to Group J. World champions, Argentina, Lionel Messi, case closed, Mark.
Yeah, I know. There's only two.
Could have had a red card, though.
That's the thing, you know.
Should have had a red card, though.
It's such a tough one. It's such a tough one because, again, intention was the. I don't know if that comes into play, but a lot of referees say you look at intent as well. Was there like a direct intent to really harm the player? I don't think there was any intention to harm the player, but it was a bad tackle. A lot of people feel that it should have been a red card, but what is the tournament without Lionel Messi? If he gets sent off there, we are denied 3 spectacular goals. We are denied the beauty of football what is the game about? It's about that. Yes, he shouldn't get preferential treatment, which some people feel he gets, but we want to be entertained. That's what football is about. And nobody entertains more than Leo Messi.
Jerry, your business, Mark, on the field was to play midfield, part of the creative side of the game and so on. Enjoyed watching you play. Your game was completely different, Jerry. It was about scoring goals, finishing, final third. When you consider the way you finished, your peers finished, and other strikers in the world finish and score and get the job done, what makes Messi different? His goals at times look different. Why? What makes him so special? It's not easy.
If you look at Messi and say from Europe, remember, European football is far better than the rest of the world in terms of quality. Now he went to USA, where a little bit of a drop of a standard. And then he comes back and competes against the best in the world. And to me, he's more like, I don't know. Because people are counting, he scored a hat-trick. To me, he scored 4 goals. Yeah. 4 goals, there is a goal that it went offside. Yeah. But you will never do that the way this guy is just so cool, calm, collected inside the box. And also the angle. How does he do that? How does he think? Really,
I have to agree with you, Roger, because
I don't know.
That goal, like the one that was disallowed.
Oh.
My thing is with Messi, and what I've said, what distinguishes him and separates him, Messi does things on the football field that shouldn't happen on a football field. Exactly. And guys who've played at the highest level know, like, you look at the stuff Messi does on the field and you're like, no, man. Like, how? Like,
how much time does he have?
He's on a different level altogether. That goal Brajer is talking about, the goalkeeper's covering the near post. And he still puts it in the near post. What is this?
Under pressure from 3 defenders coming right inside the box, he's still having that extra touch. I mean, if you there as a striker, you want to finish, you just kick the ball to get into the net. But this guy is taking time, he's calm, and he's not even scared of any tackles that might come.
And how old is he? He's 39.
Late 30s, late 30s.
I mean, he's been doing it for over 20 years at the same level. 20 years. That's ridiculous.
So the world champions are back with a 3-1 win over Algeria. In the same group, of course, Austria beat Jordan with a 2-1 scoreline. Nice to see Lionel Messi marking his return to the top stage in football in the best way possible by getting a hat-trick. We take a short break. When we do come back, we continue with the story of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now, we've discussed one great from the last 20 years. There's another that people will argue and say is maybe just as great or even greater. That, of course, is Cristiano Ronaldo. He and his, countrymen, the World Cup started with a battle against the DR Congo. And, DR Congo making their return to the world stage for the first time in 52 years. Now, Group K is what we're talking about in as far as the World Cup and Mark. Ronaldo. a lot expected from him. I still expect a lot from Portugal as a nation at this World Cup. But DR Congo holding them to a 1-1 scoreline. Your thoughts on the performance from Congo?
No, Congo was another team that I felt would really surprise a lot of people, because if you look at how they even went through the qualifying for this World Cup, the quality they showed at AFCON even, what I like about DR Congo is they're a team that's going to be difficult to beat. They may not be the greatest in attack, they may not play beautiful football, but they're going to be so hard to beat. Defensively, they are solid, and going forward, they always pose a threat. You have guys like Wisa up there, who scored the first ever goal for DR Congo at a World Cup. He's always going to be a goal threat. So the first, and I always say, first rule of football, you don't concede, you can't lose. So if you limit, your concessions, if I can call it that, you don't concede easily, you're always going to have 1 or 2 chances. And if you've got quality guys up front who can finish, that gives you the opportunities then to win games or draw games against top opposition. So DR Congo are still going to have a lot to say in this tournament.
They certainly will be looking to make an impact with DR Congo, of course, qualifying the long way in getting to the World Cup. But for Portugal and Ronaldo, is there maybe a bit extra pressure when you've got a guy like Ronaldo or Messi on your side in saying, look, we want to have a good tournament as a nation. Yes, we've got a Ronaldo and Messi, but also we want to stay true in honouring the greats that are Ronaldo and Messi. Does it change your mind frame going into a game as a team?
But to be honest, if you look at this Portugal team, when they were playing TRC, to me, I wasn't happy with a whole lot of things that were happening right inside the pitch, because you would see, excuse me, a lot of individualism. It's not like a team that you always say it's Portugal, how experienced they are, quality players that they've got. But for me, they were like a lot of pointing at each other, being in disagreement in terms of how we should be playing. You look at Fernandes, not happy with Ronaldo not happy with Vitinha. I think the midfielder from PSG.
Yeah.
So there was a whole lot of, for me, they're not a quality team. Honestly speaking, I don't see them going all the way to compete with the best in terms of qualifying, maybe
to the later stages.
To the later stages. I really don't see that. It's not the team that Also, the sub that came on, I think it's an AC Milan winger, the one that Leao. He also comes in. He's playing for himself. There was a time where even Fernandes was like throwing a hand at him, like, why didn't you put the ball back instead of giving it away? So there is a lot of things. If you look at the overall team and body language of the players, those are international stars. And they come from different teams with quality, and now they come and show that. To me, that was not something good about Portugal.
I want to group out quickly. I say this because England are in this group and they're up against Croatia. Looks tough, doesn't it? Then there's Panama, whom Bafana Bafana played earlier on in the year over Panama. But let's talk England firstly. And if you talk Messi and we've talked Haaland, we've talked Ronaldo, who didn't get on the score sheet, we have to talk about Harry Kane.
Yeah, certainly for me, and we can argue about it, whatever, but for me, the best number 9 in the world. You look at what he does at Bayern Munich, what he did at Tottenham before that. He's an all-round, and he's not just good at scoring goals, because he scores an insane amount of goals, but his link-up play with his teammates as well, even in this England team. I absolutely love, I've always loved Harry Kane, and he leads with passion. There's a moment yesterday where on a set play against them, he throws his body on the line because a ball falls kindly for a Croatian player who volleys it, and Harry Kane throws his body at the ball, blocks it. So for me, Harry Kane's going to be one of the standout players in this tournament. And England looked very good against a Croatian team that's not a pushover. So certainly they're going to do well in the tournament.
Well, Harry Kane, Bayern Munich, Jude Bellingham, one of the scorers.
Madrid.
Rashford, one of the scorers, Barcelona. And I say this just to highlight, 10, 15 years ago, you'd be hard-pressed to find an English player playing outside of England.
Yeah.
And here you are, we've got English stars at some of the royalties in the way of clubs in Europe. And that's nice, and that's good for English football, Chip.
Good for English football, because if you look at all these 3 goal scorers of England. You're talking about a talisman that is playing for Bayern in Germany. You also, for me, I wouldn't worry that much with Jude Bellingham because he comes from Germany as well. I think he played for
Borussia
Dortmund. You know, he does have that experience. But if you look at Rashford, somebody that they discarded, Manchester United, what a quality boy. And then he went to a bigger club where he revived himself. Thanks to what is happening there at Barcelona, but he comes back and then he scores a goal. He's just saying to all the English people, I'm still the same player that you discarded in your country to go and play in another country. But obviously, these are the good results that he comes back with.
Yes, and we Manchester United fans get it.
Yeah.
Good finish to the game for the Ghanaians, of course, against Panama in what was a seesaw battle where they all threw it out in the line. At one point, one had to wonder quickly, Mark, where the 3 points would go.
No, certainly. We have to mention that they fought tooth and nail. It was a very tight affair between the two countries, but quality in the end, down the left flank, cross, goal, back of the net. 3 points, that's all that matters. And Ghana really dug themselves out of a hole there.
Well done, Carlos Squares, with his changes in the second half. Quality, says Mark. Quality, says I, in the way of the services we've had from Mr. Skosana and Haskins today. And quality out of the World Cup as well. We hope you're enjoying all the action SABC Sport is bringing to you. Well, that's it from us for this week. So from us and the rest of the team that is behind the scenes, until next week, click, click, bang.